In the heart of ancient Norse mythology lies a complex and beautiful vision of the cosmos, a vast and intricate web of realms connected by the towering and mythical Yggdrasil, the World Tree. These realms, often referred to as the Nine Realms, form the backbone of Norse cosmology, each one distinct in its nature, purpose, and inhabitants. Together, they tell the story of a universe as the Norse people envisioned it, an interconnected web of life, death, and rebirth, where every force plays its part in the grand dance of existence. The Nine Realms are not simply geographical locations. They're symbolic representations of the forces that shape the universe, both physical and metaphysical. For our journey today, we will embark on a tranquil exploration of these realms, diving deep into their mythological significance, their tranquil beauty, and the gentle rhythms of their interconnectedness. As we venture through each of the Nine Realms, the purpose is not just to uncover their histories or their divine rulers, but to experience them in a manner that calms the mind and nurtures restful thoughts. This journey will not rush through events or dwell too heavily on conflict or destruction. Instead, we will explore the serene side of the realms, allowing the quiet presence of each world to envelop you. The goal of this narrative is to weave together a story that serves not only as a guide to Norse mythology, but also as a soothing and immersive experience, ideal for those seeking rest and relaxation before sleep. The Nine Realms themselves stretch across the branches and roots of Yggdrasil, the sacred world tree, which is said to grow at the very center of the cosmos. Yggdrasil, in all its ancient glory, connects all the realms, providing a pathway for the gods, giants, elves, and even humans to traverse the vast expanses of the Norse universe. It is a symbol of the interconnectedness of all things, the unity of opposites, the balance of light and dark, life and death, creation and destruction. The roots of Yggdrasil anchor deep into the realms of Niflheim, a cold and misty world, while its branches stretch high into the bright and shining realm of Asgard, home to the mighty gods. But before we step into the realms themselves, it's important to understand the broader significance of this cosmology. In Norse thought, the cosmos is a delicate balance, one that must be respected and maintained at all costs. Each realm plays a crucial role in this balance, offering its unique qualities to the greater whole. It is not a universe of chaos and endless conflict, as is often portrayed in more dramatic mythologies. Rather, it is a world in which order and harmony exist through the delicate interplay of forces, some seen, some unseen, but all necessary for the continued existence of the realms. The Norse view of the universe is both expansive and intimate. The realms of the gods and giants are set apart from the human world, but there's always an underlying sense of unity, a sense that each realm is part of a larger whole. There are moments of tension, of course, moments where the gods and giants are at odds, where the realms clash with each other. But these moments are balanced by the calm, by the quiet contemplation of fate, destiny, and the cycle of life and death. The gods themselves are not omnipotent and all-knowing. They, too, are part of the ever-turning wheel of existence. And so we find that even within these grand, divine realms, there's a certain humility, a quiet acknowledgement of their role in the larger cosmic design. As we move through this peaceful exploration, we will encounter the great gods of Asgard, the brave warriors of Midgard, the mysterious creatures of Alfheim, and the cold giants of Jotunheim. Each realm has its own essence, its own flavor, its own quiet presence. But they are not isolated from each other. Rather, they are connected by invisible threads, woven through the branches of Yggdrasil. There is a harmony in this design, a reminder that the peaceful coexistence of seemingly opposite forces is what makes the universe whole. The gods of light and the giants of darkness, the realm of life and the realm of death. All of these forces are essential, and they all play their part in the grand and tranquil story of the cosmos. So, let us embark on this peaceful journey through the Nine Realms. Each realm will be introduced in a slow and deliberate manner, with its history, its inhabitants, and its essence laid out before us like a calm and tranquil landscape. We will take our time to understand the role of each realm, the interplay between the gods and the other beings who inhabit these worlds, and the greater cosmic dance that binds them all together. As we move through these realms, take a deep breath, relax, and allow the rhythm of the story to lull you into a peaceful state of mind. The 9 realms await, and each one offers a unique opportunity for rest and reflection. As we begin our journey through these 9 realms, it's important to note the tone of our exploration. The gods and giants, the realms and the creatures that inhabit them, are not here to overwhelm you with dramatic battles or grandiose tales of destruction. Instead, we focus on their more serene qualities, the gentle and soothing aspects of their stories that can calm the mind and provide a sense of peace. As we dive into the details of each realm, the intention is not to overwhelm with the complexities of Norse mythology, but to create a gentle flow of information that eases the mind, offering insight without stress. Each realm we visit is an opportunity to reflect on the quiet forces at work in the universe, whether that force is the steady hand of fate, the calming presence of nature, or the deep and restful silence of the afterlife. Norse mythology, at its core, is a story of balance. It is a story of how different forces, some light, some dark, come together to form the greater whole. These forces, while often in tension with one another, are all essential for the continuation of the universe. And in this peaceful exploration, we will come to appreciate the delicate balance that keeps the 9 realms and the cosmos itself in harmony. So, as you listen to the unfolding story of the 9 realms, allow yourself to drift deeper into this world of tranquility. Imagine each realm not as a distant place, but as a part of your own mind, a quiet corner of your thoughts where balance and harmony reside. With each passing realm, let the peaceful nature of Norse mythology settle into your consciousness, guiding you toward a restful and calm place where the stories of the gods, giants, and spirits can lull you into a deep, peaceful sleep. The 9 realms are not just a story to be told. They're a journey to be experienced, a dream to be lived. And it begins now. At the heart of the 9 realms, and the very essence of Norse cosmology, lies Yggdrasil, the world tree. This colossal, sacred ash tree stands as the central pillar of the universe, a living, breathing entity that connects all realms in a vast, intricate web. Yggdrasil is not merely a physical structure. It is a symbol of life, growth, and interconnectedness, standing as a constant reminder of the delicate balance that sustains the cosmos. Its towering roots and branches span across the 9 realms, weaving through the fabric of existence, linking gods, giants, elves, and humans in a harmonious yet complex network. This tree is not just a point of reference within Norse mythology, but the very axis around which all of creation turns. The world of Norse mythology, much like the tree itself, is one of constant motion, growth, and change. Yggdrasil's sprawling branches reach upwards towards the heavens, while its deep roots burrow into the cold, misty depths of Niflheim. The branches, stretching out in every direction, offer the path between realms. The vastness of this tree mirrors the vastness of the universe it holds within it. But despite its immense size and cosmic importance, Yggdrasil is portrayed as a tranquil, ever-present entity, enduring and steady in its role as the connector of all things. The image of this towering tree, its bark weathered by time, its leaves constantly shifting in the cosmic winds, evokes a sense of timelessness. It is, in a way, the eternal heartbeat of the cosmos. At the base of Yggdrasil, deep within its roots, are 3 primary wells that nourish and sustain the tree's life. Each of these wells has its own unique connection to different aspects of the universe, reinforcing the idea that Yggdrasil is more than just a physical entity. The first well, known as the Well of Urd, is located in the realm of the gods, Asgard. This well is deeply tied to the concept of fate. It is here that the Norns, the 3 fate spinners of Norse mythology, reside. The Norns, wise and ancient, weave the threads of destiny for all beings, gods and mortals alike. They are often depicted as sitting by the well, drawing water from its depths to nourish the roots of Yggdrasil, ensuring the tree's continued growth and vitality. The Well of Urd is not merely a source of water, but a repository of all that has been, all that is, and all that will be. It represents the flow of time, the inevitability of fate, and the cyclical nature of existence. From this well flows the knowledge that shapes the cosmos. The second well, known as Mimir's Well, is located in the realm of wisdom, Jotunheim. Mimir, the guardian of this well, is a giant who possesses unparalleled knowledge. The well is said to hold the waters of wisdom itself, and drinking from it grants unparalleled insight into the workings of the universe. But Mimir's wisdom comes at a price. In one of the most famous myths, Odin sacrifices one of his own eyes in exchange for a drink from Mimir's well, seeking the wisdom necessary to understand the deepest mysteries of existence. This well represents the thirst for knowledge and understanding, the pursuit of wisdom at any cost. It is here that the gods, particularly Odin, seek to deepen their awareness of the forces shaping the universe. And yet, despite the wisdom it imparts, the Well of Mimir also serves as a reminder that knowledge, while powerful, often comes with great sacrifice. This well, in its stillness, also holds the quiet understanding that wisdom, though invaluable, can be a heavy burden to bear. The third well, the Well of Hvergelmir, is located deep in the roots of Yggdrasil in the realm of Niflheim. This well is the source of all the rivers that flow through the Nine Realms, bringing life-giving water to all the realms of the cosmos. It is from this well that the great rivers of the world are born, and through them, life is sustained. Unlike the wells of fate and wisdom, the Well of Hvergelmir represents the primal forces of nature. Its waters are the essence of life itself, flowing through the roots of Yggdrasil and feeding the tree with vitality. The Well of Hvergelmir is a reminder of the natural world's power, of the quiet forces that shape existence at the most fundamental level. The rivers that flow from this well connect all realms, nurturing the worlds and maintaining the balance of life. It is here, in the still waters of the well, that the power of nature and the forces of creation converge. Yggdrasil's roots and wells are not only physical points of connection between the realms, but also symbolic of the forces that govern life and death, time and fate, wisdom and nature. The world tree is not just a passive observer in this cosmic dance. It is a living entity, deeply intertwined with the fates of the realms it connects. Yggdrasil's health and vitality reflect the well-being of the entire cosmos. When the tree suffers, so too do the realms. And just as the roots are nurtured by the waters of the wells, the branches are sustained by the constant passage of time, by the ever-moving cycle of life and death. One of the most serene and humbling aspects of Yggdrasil is its symbolism of the interconnectedness of all things. The branches stretch across the Nine Realms, forming a network that binds together gods, giants, humans, and all living beings. Each realm, from the fiery heat of Muspelheim to the icy expanse of Niflheim, contributes to the overall balance of the universe. The realms exist not in isolation, but in constant relationship with one another. This interdependence is the very nature of Yggdrasil itself, which serves as both a literal and metaphorical connector between all that exists. Each realm is like a leaf on the tree, distinct in its own right, but part of a greater whole. As we gaze upon Yggdrasil, we are reminded that the cosmos is not static or fixed. It is ever-changing, ever-growing, ever-evolving. The tree itself is in a constant state of flux, its leaves shifting with the passage of time, its branches stretching outwards in an endless search for the light of the heavens. Yggdrasil's vitality comes not from a place of stillness, but from its movement, from its ability to adapt and grow in response to the world around it. And just as the tree's branches grow towards the heavens, so too do the beings of the Nine Realms reach towards their own understanding of the cosmos, seeking wisdom, understanding, and enlightenment. The world tree is a metaphor for the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, a concept deeply ingrained in Norse thought. Yggdrasil represents the eternal cycle of growth and decay, the quiet movement of life from one form to another. It is a reminder that even in the stillness, even in the quiet moments of reflection, change is always happening. The roots of the tree reach deep into the cold ground of Niflheim, while its branches stretch towards the warmth and light of Asgard. This duality of light and dark, life and death, is essential to the nature of Yggdrasil and the world it sustains. In the quiet whisper of the leaves, in the stillness of the branches, we are reminded of the peace and tranquility that lie at the heart of Norse cosmology. Yggdrasil is not merely a giant tree. It is a living, breathing entity that connects all the realms, that nurtures and sustains life in all its forms. Its serene presence reminds us that, at the core of the universe, there is a quiet balance, a peaceful order that exists amidst the chaos. As we move through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the image of Yggdrasil, the world tree, as a symbol of the interconnectedness and balance that sustains the cosmos. It is from this central point of existence that all things flow, and it is through this tree that we come to understand the quiet forces that govern the universe. As we continue our peaceful exploration through the Nine Realms, we now arrive at Asgard, the shining, celestial realm of the Aesir gods. In Norse mythology, Asgard stands as the seat of divine power, a place where the gods who shape the destiny of the cosmos reside. This realm, unlike any other, is a domain of order, wisdom, and strength, ruled by Odin, the All-Father, with his powerful sons Thor, Balder, and others standing as key figures in the tapestry of divine life. The very essence of Asgard is one of majesty and dignity, a tranquil yet forceful presence that speaks to the higher powers of the universe. It is a realm of not just strength, but also serene wisdom, where peace and protection are woven into the fabric of its existence. Asgard, often depicted as a shining fortress above the clouds, sits at the top of Yggdrasil's branches. Its beauty and splendor are not just physical, but symbolic. Asgard is a place where the divine order is maintained, where the gods keep watch over the realms, ensuring balance and harmony in the universe. The gates of Asgard, known as the Bifrost, are a rainbow bridge that connects it to other realms. It is through this bridge that gods, heroes, and beings of importance travel between realms. Yet, despite the grandeur and beauty of this celestial city, Asgard is also a place where duty, sacrifice, and responsibility are ever present. The gods who dwell here are not simply immortal beings living in eternal bliss. They are rulers, protectors, and warriors, charged with maintaining the delicate balance of the cosmos. In Asgard, everything is imbued with meaning. The halls of Valhalla, where the bravest warriors are honored after death, stand as a testament to the valor and courage that the gods hold dear. The golden halls are filled with the echoes of laughter, the clash of battle, and the joyous feasts of those who have fought honorably. Valhalla is not a place of peace, but rather one of preparation. It is where the chosen warriors, known as the Einherjar, are trained to fight in the great battle of Ragnarok, the prophesied end of the world. Here, they hone their skills in battle, preparing for the moment when the gods and their enemies will face one final conflict. Despite this, the atmosphere of Valhalla is not one of anxiety or fear. The warriors live in peace, knowing that their purpose is clear and their valor will lead to an inevitable victory in the face of chaos. The halls echo with a sense of purpose, and there is serenity in knowing that they have a place of honor in the gods' domain. The gods of Asgard are revered not only for their strength, but also for their wisdom. Odin, the wise and powerful ruler of Asgard, is a god who seeks knowledge above all else. Known for his great sacrifice, trading one of his eyes for a drink from Mimir's well of wisdom, Odin's desire to understand the deeper workings of the cosmos shapes much of the mythology surrounding him. Odin is not just a king. He is a seeker, constantly in search of greater understanding of fate and the future. His wisdom is the foundation of Asgard's peace, as he understands that knowledge is the key to maintaining balance in the Nine Realms. This pursuit of wisdom, however, comes at a personal cost. Odin's relentless quest for knowledge often leads him down paths of sacrifice, where he must give up parts of himself, whether his eye, his sleep, or his sense of comfort, to gain the insight he seeks. Thor, Odin's son, is perhaps the most famous of the Aesir gods, known for his strength, bravery, and role as a protector. Thor wields Mjolnir, his mighty hammer, a weapon that can strike down giants and creatures of chaos. However, despite his immense power, Thor is not a god of destruction. Rather, he is a guardian, one who ensures the protection of Asgard and the other realms. His role is to defend against the giants, the forces of chaos that constantly threaten to upset the harmony of the cosmos. Thor is a god who embodies the duality of Asgard itself, immense power coupled with the responsibility to maintain peace and order. His presence in Asgard is one of strength and stability, but also of deep care for those he protects. This balance between force and compassion defines not just Thor, but the entire realm of Asgard. While the gods of Asgard are often seen as mighty warriors, they are also gods of peace, wisdom, and justice. Baldur, the beloved son of Odin, is the embodiment of purity and light. His death, one of the most tragic events in Norse mythology, marks a turning point in the divine order. Baldur's death, caused by the trickery of the mischief god Loki, foreshadows the coming of Ragnarok. Yet, despite the sorrow his death brings, it also serves as a reminder of the fragility of life, even for the gods. The peaceful, almost serene nature of Baldur contrasts with the chaotic events surrounding him, emphasizing the delicate balance between light and dark in Asgard and the Nine Realms. His death is a moment of quiet grief that reverberates throughout the cosmos, reminding the gods of their own mortality and the inevitable nature of fate. Despite the divine nature of the gods in Asgard, it is essential to remember that they are not infallible beings. They are shaped by their choices, their actions, and their own personal growth. The gods are powerful, yes, but they are also deeply human in their experiences and emotions. The relationships between the gods are complex, filled with love, rivalry, and the constant tension between their divine duties and their personal desires. Asgard, in this way, is not a place of eternal serenity, but a realm where the gods grapple with the same conflicts, doubts, and challenges that any being might face. Their immortality does not shield them from the complexities of life, but rather adds an extra layer of meaning to their existence. The gods in Asgard are not free from suffering, nor are they exempt from the consequences of their actions. This humanity within divinity is part of what makes Asgard so compelling. Asgard itself is not a static, peaceful place, but one that is ever-changing and filled with movement. The gods' relationships, their decisions, and the challenges they face shape the realm, creating a dynamic environment where peace and conflict coexist. It is a realm that embodies the duality of existence, the balance between order and chaos, light and dark, life and death. This is reflected not only in the gods themselves, but in the very design of Asgard, a realm where beauty and grandeur meet the harsh realities of divine responsibility. In the context of sleep and relaxation, Asgard's serene beauty offers a place for reflection. Its golden halls, peaceful skies, and divine figures present an atmosphere of calm, but one that is rooted in the understanding of responsibility and the importance of maintaining balance. The gods of Asgard are not distant figures of absolute power, but beings who navigate the complexities of existence with grace, wisdom, and strength. Their serene demeanor does not come from a life of ease, but from a deep understanding of the nature of the cosmos and their place within it. This understanding allows them to find peace amidst their duties, offering a subtle lesson for us as we reflect on the quiet, peaceful rhythms of the universe. The gods of Asgard remind us that peace is not the absence of challenge, but the ability to find harmony within it. After departing from the majestic heights of Asgard, we travel to the serene and fertile realm of Vanaheim, the homeland of the Vanir gods. Vanaheim is a place marked by peace, prosperity, and a deep connection to nature. Unlike Asgard, with its warrior gods and its focus on order and defense, Vanaheim is associated with more gentle forces, fertility, abundance, and the natural cycles of growth. The Vanir gods, who inhabit this realm, are often seen as the counterparts to the more militaristic Aesir gods of Asgard. Where Asgard represents the ideals of strength, discipline, and divine sovereignty, Vanaheim is the embodiment of harmony with the land, of peace and quiet growth. In many ways, Vanaheim stands in contrast to the other realms, as it represents a quiet power that comes from understanding the natural world and working in harmony with it. The Vanir are gods of agriculture, fertility, and prosperity, beings who govern the earth's ability to grow and flourish. They are concerned with the cycles of life and death, and their influence is most strongly felt in the changing seasons, the harvests, and the balance between life and decay. These gods are not the warriors or conquerors of the mythic world, but rather those who nurture, sustain, and allow for the flourishing of life in its many forms. One of the most notable aspects of Vanaheim is its connection to the forces of nature. The realm itself is lush and green, teeming with life, and filled with the peaceful hum of nature's rhythms. Trees, flowers, and rivers weave through the landscape, creating a feeling of tranquility and stability. It is a realm where the weather is temperate and the seasons change gently, without the violent extremes found in other realms like the freezing Niflheim or the fiery Muspelheim. In Vanaheim, the land is fertile and abundant, nurturing all that lives there. This connection to nature gives the realm a peaceful, serene quality, as though it operates on its own, untouched by the conflicts and turmoil that plague other parts of the cosmos. At the heart of Vanaheim, we find the gods who embody these natural forces. These deities are often associated with life's more tranquil aspects: love, fertility, and the rhythm of the earth. The Vanir gods are known for their wisdom and their deep understanding of the natural world. Njord, the god of the sea and winds, is one of the most important of the Vanir gods. His domain over the seas and the winds makes him a key figure in the world's balance, as he controls the ebb and flow of nature's cycles. He is often depicted as a peaceful figure, with the power to calm the seas and ensure the prosperity of those who rely on the ocean for their livelihood. His children, Freyr and Freya, are also central figures in the Vanir pantheon. Freyr, the god of fertility and peace, governs the cycles of agriculture, bringing prosperity and abundance to the land. Freya, his twin sister, is a goddess of love, beauty, and fertility, and she plays a crucial role in the natural order by fostering growth and nurturing life. The Vanir are often depicted as a peaceful and harmonious people, but their relationship with the Aesir gods was not always one of ease. Initially, the two groups of gods were in conflict, each representing different ideals and governing different aspects of the cosmos. The Aesir, with their warlike nature, sought to impose order and strength upon the realms, while the Vanir, with their focus on fertility and nature, were more concerned with balance and prosperity. Their rivalry culminated in the Aesir-Vanir War, a conflict that nearly tore the realms apart. However, in a twist of fate, the war ended in a truce, and the two groups of gods exchanged hostages and formed a lasting alliance. This act of reconciliation is symbolic of the balance that Vanaheim represents, two opposing forces coming together to create a greater whole. The truce between the Aesir and Vanir shows that even opposing forces can find common ground when they are united by a shared goal, maintaining the balance of the cosmos. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Vanir is their connection to the cycles of life and death. Unlike the Aesir, who often deal with themes of war, destiny, and cosmic order, the Vanir are more concerned with the cyclical nature of existence. They understand that life is a constant process of growth, death, and rebirth, and their influence ensures that this cycle remains uninterrupted. Freyr, for example, governs the cycles of agriculture, ensuring that the land remains fertile and that the harvest is plentiful. Freya, too, is deeply connected to the idea of life cycles, as she is not only a goddess of love and fertility, but also a protector of those who die. The Vanir's understanding of life and death provides a peaceful, almost meditative perspective on the passage of time, reminding us that the natural world is always in flux and that growth and decay are natural parts of life. The peaceful nature of Vanaheim also makes it a realm of healing and renewal. Where Asgard is a place of strength and order, and Jotunheim is a land of chaos and conflict, Vanaheim offers respite. The Vanir gods, through their gentle stewardship of nature, create an atmosphere where rest and rejuvenation are possible. For those seeking peace and tranquility, Vanaheim represents a place where the stresses of life can be soothed and where the natural world's rhythms can restore a sense of calm. The fertile lands, the calming seas, and the gentle winds all contribute to a sense of well-being and tranquility. It is a realm where one can step away from the harsh realities of the other realms and find a moment of solace in the quiet beauty of nature. The natural abundance of Vanaheim is also reflected in the way the Vanir gods care for their realm. Their focus on fertility, growth, and harmony allows the realm to thrive in a way that other realms cannot. While Asgard is a realm of strength and power, and Jotunheim is a land of chaos and unpredictability, Vanaheim's strength lies in its peace and its ability to nurture and sustain life. This is not to say that the Vanir are without power. On the contrary, their control over the cycles of nature gives them a unique kind of strength, one that is rooted in the natural world and the rhythms of life. The fertility of the land, the abundance of the seas, and the growth of plants and animals are all manifestations of the Vanir's quiet power. In the context of sleep and relaxation, Vanaheim offers a place of calm respite from the tumultuous energy of the other realms. Its lush landscapes and peaceful atmosphere create an ideal setting for rest and renewal. Imagine drifting off to sleep in the serene surroundings of Vanaheim, where the gentle rustling of leaves and the soft flow of rivers lull you into a deep and restful slumber. Here, the natural world is not a source of chaos or danger, but a source of peace and healing. The Vanir gods, with their deep understanding of nature's cycles, remind us of the importance of balance, rest, and rejuvenation. Vanaheim, the realm of the Vanir, stands as a testament to the power of nature and the quiet strength that comes from living in harmony with the world around us. In a universe filled with chaos, conflict, and the constant struggle for power, Vanaheim offers a peaceful sanctuary, a place where growth, renewal, and tranquility are the guiding forces. Its gentle, nurturing nature provides a serene contrast to the other realms, offering a calm and restorative energy that soothes the soul. As we leave Vanaheim behind and continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the lessons of this peaceful realm. That balance, harmony, and peace are not merely the absence of conflict, but the active cultivation of a world where life can flourish in all its forms. As we continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we now arrive in Jotunheim, a land of towering mountains, wild landscapes, and untamed forces. This is the realm of the Jotnar, the giants, often portrayed as the enemies of the gods in Norse mythology. While other realms like Asgard and Vanaheim exude an air of divine order and peace, Jotunheim is a realm defined by chaos, power, and unpredictability. Here, the Jotnar, beings of great strength and elemental power, roam the vast, harsh landscapes, representing the primal forces of nature that exist beyond the control of the gods. But Jotunheim is more than just a place of conflict and destruction. It is also a realm of ancient wisdom, raw beauty, and untapped potential. Jotunheim is a land of extremes. Towering, jagged mountains rise above deep valleys, their snow-capped peaks barely touched by the warmth of the sun. The terrain is rugged and inhospitable, filled with dense forests, freezing rivers, and wide, barren plains. The land is constantly shifting, as if it is alive, responding to the forces of nature that dominate its existence. The giants themselves are not just massive in size, but are also embodiments of these forces, beings who exist in close connection with the primal elements of the world. They are often associated with the forces of chaos, destruction, and nature's untamed power. Their strength is immense, and their lives are marked by constant battles with the gods and other creatures of the cosmos. Despite their reputation as the adversaries of the gods, the Jotnar are far from simple antagonists. They represent the forces of nature that the gods of Asgard often seek to control. The giants are not inherently evil or malicious. Rather, they are embodiments of the untamable, the wild, and the raw power of the natural world. In many ways, the giants of Jotunheim serve as a reminder of the forces that lie beyond the reach of the gods, forces that cannot be easily contained or subdued. While the gods of Asgard work to maintain order and stability, the giants are creatures of disruption, challenging the very foundations of the divine order. One of the most well-known aspects of Jotunheim is its connection to chaos and destruction. The giants are often depicted as adversaries of the gods, engaging in countless battles and conflicts with them throughout the myths. These battles, however, are not just conflicts of brute strength. They are symbolic of the clash between the forces of order and chaos, the controlled and the uncontrollable. The gods of Asgard, with their strict codes of conduct and divine hierarchy, represent order and civilization, while the giants of Jotunheim embody the raw, primal forces of nature, those aspects of the universe that cannot be controlled or tamed. The constant struggle between these two forces, order and chaos, forms a central theme in Norse mythology, and it plays out on the battlegrounds of Jotunheim. Yet, while Jotunheim is a place of chaos and conflict, it is also a realm of great beauty and ancient wisdom. The giants are not mindless brutes. They are beings of great intelligence and cunning, with deep knowledge of the natural world and the hidden forces of the cosmos. Many of the giants are skilled in magic and sorcery, and they possess a wisdom that rivals that of the gods. They are often portrayed as ancient beings who have witnessed the creation of the world and who understand its deepest secrets. In some ways, the giants of Jotunheim are not so different from the gods themselves. They are merely beings who operate outside the divine order, in a realm where the rules are not so clearly defined. The land of Jotunheim, in its wild and untamed beauty, is also a realm of great contrasts. While the gods of Asgard build cities of gold and light, the giants of Jotunheim live in caves, craggy mountains, and deep forests, often dwelling in places that are far removed from the comforting order of civilization. The giants' homes are often depicted as dark, shadowy places, where the forces of nature reign supreme, and the land itself seems to pulse with an ancient energy. The landscape of Jotunheim mirrors the giants' inner nature, untamed, unpredictable, and constantly shifting. The relationship between the gods and the giants is one of constant tension. While the gods of Asgard represent the ordered, structured world, the giants are creatures of chaos, challenging the gods at every turn. However, it is important to note that this conflict is not purely one of good versus evil. In fact, there are moments in the mythology where the gods and the giants are forced to work together, and there are even gods who have relationships with the giants. Loki, the trickster god, is one of the most prominent examples of this, as he is often depicted as a companion to the giants and, in some cases, even as one of them. Loki's complex nature, his ability to move between the realms of the gods and the giants, serves as a reminder that the lines between order and chaos, good and evil, are not always as clear-cut as they might seem. Jotunheim is also the birthplace of some of the most important figures in Norse mythology. The giantess Angerboa, for example, is the mother of three of the most infamous creatures in the myths: Fenrir the wolf, Jormungandr the serpent, and Hel, the ruler of the underworld. These three beings, born of Jotunheim's chaotic energy, are central to the myth of Ragnarok, the end of the world. The events leading up to Ragnarok are characterized by the rise of chaos and destruction, and the role of the giants and their offspring in this final battle is one of total upheaval. Jotunheim, in this sense, is not just a realm of chaos and conflict. It is also a realm of creation, where the seeds of destruction and rebirth are sown. In terms of sleep and relaxation, Jotunheim may seem like a realm far removed from peace and serenity. Yet, there's a certain calm that comes from the knowledge that chaos is a natural part of existence. Just as the forces of nature cannot be controlled or tamed, the turbulence and unrest found in Jotunheim are integral to the balance of the cosmos. In the stillness of the mountains, in the deep shadows of the forests, there's a certain quiet energy, a reminder that life is not always about calm and order, but about the ebb and flow of opposing forces, the tension between light and dark, growth and decay. Though Jotunheim is a land of giants and chaos, it is also a realm of ancient power and deep wisdom. It represents the untamed aspects of the universe, those forces that lie beyond the gods' control, but which are nonetheless essential to the cycle of life and death. The Jotnar are not merely creatures of destruction. They are part of the larger cosmic balance, embodying the primal forces that keep the universe in motion. In their wild landscapes, we find the raw power of nature itself, unrestrained and free. Jotunheim, with its jagged mountains, dark forests, and wild energy, is a reminder that chaos is not inherently evil, but a necessary part of existence, a force that must be respected and understood. As we leave Jotunheim and continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the lessons of this realm, that order cannot exist without chaos, that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the balance between opposing forces. Jotunheim teaches us that the world is a place of constant change, where the forces of creation and destruction are inextricably linked, and where the wild, untamed beauty of nature reminds us of the raw power that sustains all life. As we move onward through the Nine Realms, we now find ourselves in Alfheim, the radiant and enchanting realm of the Light Elves. Unlike the rough and untamed wilderness of Jotunheim or the disciplined order of Asgard, Alfheim is a place of tranquility, beauty, and ethereal light. It is a realm that exists in harmony with the forces of nature and magic, where light and grace dominate the landscape, casting a soft glow over everything. The Light Elves who call Alfheim home are beings of pure light, renowned for their beauty, wisdom, and deep connection to the natural world. Their realm, much like their nature, is one of peace and serenity, and it stands as a testament to the delicate balance between magic and the natural order of the universe. Alfheim is often depicted as a shining, almost otherworldly place, bathed in soft, golden light. It is a land where the skies are perpetually clear and the air is fresh and vibrant. The realm is full of lush meadows, sparkling rivers, and forests that seem to shimmer with an ethereal glow. The trees in Alfheim are said to be ancient, their roots deep in the earth, while their branches stretch high into the heavens, creating an expansive canopy that protects the land beneath. The flowers here are of every imaginable color, each one vibrant and alive, releasing sweet fragrances that fill the air. The landscape is dotted with flowing streams and crystal-clear lakes, all reflecting the soft light that pours from the sun and the stars. It is a realm where nature and magic coexist in perfect harmony, creating a peaceful and serene atmosphere that is felt by all who enter. The Light Elves themselves are as ethereal as the realm they inhabit. In Norse mythology, they are described as beings of great beauty, radiating light and grace wherever they go. They are often depicted as tall, slender figures with luminous skin and long, flowing hair, their eyes sparkling with the brilliance of stars. Their beauty is not just physical, but also spiritual, as they are said to embody the highest ideals of wisdom, purity, and harmony. The Light Elves are deeply connected to the forces of magic and nature, and they are often seen as protectors of the natural world. Their powers are not used for war or destruction, but for healing, growth, and enlightenment. They can influence the growth of plants, control the flow of water, and even manipulate light itself to create illusions or guide travelers through the night. In Alfheim, the light elves live in harmony with the land. Their homes are made of delicate, transparent materials, and their villages are often built among the trees, blending seamlessly with the natural surroundings. The architecture of Alfheim is graceful and organic, with buildings that appear to grow out of the earth itself, as if shaped by the hands of nature. There is no harshness or coldness in the realm of the light elves. Everything here is soft, fluid, and alive with the energy of creation. The elves' connection to nature is not only spiritual, but also practical, as they work with the land to ensure its flourishing. They understand the cycles of growth and decay, and they know how to work with the earth to maintain balance and harmony. This deep respect for nature makes Alfheim a realm where life can grow freely and peacefully, without the interference of destructive forces. The Light Elves' relationship with the other realms is one of peaceful coexistence. While the gods of Asgard are often depicted as warriors, and the giants of Jotunheim are embodiments of chaos, the Light Elves are more subtle in their ways. They are not interested in war or conquest, but in maintaining the balance of the world. They are, however, always willing to aid those who seek their wisdom or need their guidance. In particular, they are closely associated with the Vanir, the gods of nature and fertility, who share a similar reverence for the natural world. The connection between the Light Elves and the Vanir is one of mutual respect, as both groups understand the importance of balance and harmony in the cosmos. Alfheim's role in the larger cosmology of the Nine Realms is one of peace and enlightenment. While the realms of the gods and the giants are often characterized by conflict and tension, Alfheim remains a serene sanctuary, a place where wisdom and magic flow freely, where the forces of nature are nurtured and protected. The Light Elves do not interfere in the battles or politics of the other realms, but they serve as a reminder of the importance of peace and cooperation. In a world that is often dominated by power struggles and conflicts, Alfheim represents the ideal of living in harmony with the universe, respecting the cycles of nature, and using one's power for healing and growth rather than destruction. Alfheim is also a realm deeply connected to the stars and the cosmos. The elves' magic is said to draw upon the power of the stars, using their light to illuminate the night and guide those who travel in the dark. The stars themselves are believed to be the souls of the elves who have passed on, continuing to shine brightly in the heavens. This connection to the stars gives Alfheim a mystical quality, as if the realm exists not only in the physical world, but also in the spiritual and astral planes. The Light Elves, in their wisdom, understand the interconnectedness of all things, from the tiniest blade of grass to the vast expanse of the heavens. Their magic reflects this understanding, drawing from the forces of the earth, the sky, and the stars to create a world of beauty and harmony. In the context of sleep and relaxation, Alfheim offers a realm of unparalleled peace and serenity. Imagine drifting off to sleep beneath the soft glow of the elves' radiant light, surrounded by the sounds of the gentle breeze rustling through the trees and the quiet murmur of streams flowing through the land. The peaceful atmosphere of Alfheim is the perfect environment for rest and rejuvenation, a place where one can reconnect with the natural rhythms of the earth and the calming energy of the stars. The Light Elves, with their gentle wisdom and ethereal presence, create an environment that is both soothing and restorative. Their magic, rooted in the natural world, brings a sense of balance and harmony that is ideal for relaxation and reflection. Alfheim also teaches us about the importance of balance and harmony in our own lives. In a world that can often feel chaotic and overwhelming, Alfheim reminds us of the power of peace and the importance of living in harmony with the forces of nature. The Light Elves' wisdom encourages us to seek tranquility in our own lives, to connect with the natural world, and to use our energies for healing and growth rather than conflict and destruction. Their quiet beauty and grace inspire us to slow down, to listen to the whispers of nature, and to find peace in the simple moments of life. As we leave Alfheim and continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the lessons of this realm. That peace and harmony are not the absence of conflict, but the presence of balance, understanding, and respect for the forces that shape our world. Alfheim, with its gentle light and tranquil landscapes, offers a glimpse of what it means to live in true harmony with the world around us. It is a reminder that magic, beauty, and wisdom are all around us, waiting to be discovered if we are open to them. In the realm of the Light Elves, we find not only a place of peace, but also a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all things, an understanding that can bring us closer to the quiet, calming forces that govern the universe. After journeying through the radiant and serene realm of Alfheim, we now venture into the shadowed and mysterious realm of Svartalfheim, home to the Dark Elves. Unlike the shimmering beauty of Alfheim, Svartalfheim is a place that exudes an aura of secrecy and hidden power. It is a realm of darkness, but not in the sense of evil or malevolence. Instead, Svartalfheim represents the quiet strength found in shadow, the power of the unseen, and the force of transformation that exists in the darker corners of existence. The Dark Elves who inhabit Svartalfheim are skilled in craftsmanship, sorcery, and manipulation of the unseen forces of the world. They work in secrecy, often hidden from the gaze of the other realms, and their magic is both mysterious and potent. Svartalfheim is often depicted as a land of darkness and underground caverns, filled with complex networks of tunnels, caves, and subterranean cities. The light in this realm is dim, with only the faintest glimmer of bioluminescent fungi or glowing crystals lighting the way through the endless labyrinths. The very landscape of Svartalfheim speaks of mystery and depth. Vast caverns that echo with the sounds of distant movements, caves filled with rare and magical minerals, and dark rivers that snake through the subterranean depths. The air here is thick with the scent of damp stone and earth, and the ground is hard and jagged. While Alfheim is bathed in light and open to the sky, Svartalfheim is a place where the light rarely reaches, a place of quiet introspection and hidden power. The Dark Elves who reside in Svartalfheim are beings of great skill and craftsmanship, but they are often misunderstood and feared by the other races of the Nine Realms. In Norse mythology, the Dark Elves are sometimes confused with the dwarfs, though they are distinct in many ways. While dwarfs are known for their exceptional abilities as blacksmiths and metalworkers, the Dark Elves of Svartalfheim are masters of magic, sorcery, and the subtle manipulation of the world's hidden forces. Their magic is not flashy or overt. Rather, it is quiet, focused, and intricate, often requiring great patience and precision to master. They are capable of weaving spells that manipulate the very fabric of reality, bending light, shadow, and even time itself to their will. They have a deep understanding of the unseen world, the currents of magic that flow beneath the surface of existence, and they know how to tap into these currents to achieve their goals. The Dark Elves' connection to shadow and secrecy is not one of evil or malice, but of understanding the hidden forces that govern the universe. They are, in many ways, the guardians of the unseen, those who work in the quiet spaces between worlds. Their magic is not meant for destruction, but for transformation and subtle influence. They understand that the world is not just what can be seen with the eyes, but also what lies beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. Svartalfheim, with its hidden caves and dark corridors, symbolizes this deeper understanding of reality. It is a place where the unseen forces of magic, the manipulation of light and shadow, and the mastery of hidden knowledge all converge. In Svartalfheim, the Dark Elves work tirelessly, crafting objects of immense power and beauty. They are skilled in the art of enchanting objects, imbuing them with magical properties that can alter the very nature of the world around them. The most famous example of this is the creation of powerful artifacts such as Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, which is said to have been forged in the dark depths of Svartalfheim. These magical items are not simply tools. They are representations of the Dark Elves' mastery over the forces of nature and magic. Through their craftsmanship, the Dark Elves are able to influence the world in subtle yet powerful ways, shaping the flow of events without ever revealing their hand. The Dark Elves of Svartalfheim are also deeply connected to the forces of death and decay. While the gods of Asgard and the Vanir focus on creation and preservation, the Dark Elves understand that death is an essential part of the cycle of life. They are not afraid of death, but rather see it as a necessary and natural process that brings about transformation and rebirth. In many ways, Svartalfheim represents the end of cycle, the place where things are broken down, transformed, and restructured. The Dark Elves' connection to death and decay is not one of fear or destruction, but of renewal. In their world, death is not the end, but a necessary step in the ongoing process of transformation. Svartalfheim's role in the larger cosmology of the Nine Realms is one of balance. While other realms focus on creation, order, and harmony, Svartalfheim serves as the realm where the forces of destruction, decay, and shadow are acknowledged and respected. The Dark Elves' mastery of these forces is essential to the balance of the cosmos. Without the presence of Svartalfheim and its inhabitants, the cycle of life and death, growth and decay, would be incomplete. The Dark Elves remind us that for every beginning, there must be an end. For every light, there must be a shadow. They embody the understanding that the universe is made up of both creation and destruction, and that both are necessary for the continuation of life. In terms of sleep and relaxation, Svartalfheim may seem like a realm far removed from peace and tranquility. Its darkness and secrecy might appear intimidating at first, but there is a quiet power in this realm that can be deeply soothing. The absence of light in Svartalfheim creates an atmosphere of introspection and calm. In the stillness of the caves, one can reflect on the deeper aspects of life and the universe, gaining insight into the mysteries that lie beyond the surface. The darkness of Svartalfheim is not oppressive, but rather a space where one can rest, recharge, and reconnect with the unseen forces of the world. The silence of the realm offers a break from the noise and chaos of the other realms, providing a place of deep peace where the mind can wander freely without distraction. Svartalfheim teaches us the importance of understanding the hidden aspects of existence. It reminds us that not everything in the universe is immediately visible or easy to understand. Sometimes, true wisdom comes from looking beyond the surface, from seeking the knowledge that lies in the shadows. The Dark Elves show us that the unseen forces of the world, magic, energy, and even death, are just as important as the things we can see and touch. They ask us to embrace the mystery of the world, to look beyond the obvious, and to recognize the transformative power of shadow and silence. As we leave Svartalfheim and continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the lessons of this realm. That darkness is not something to be feared, but something to be understood and respected. In Svartalfheim, the forces of shadow, decay, and transformation come together to create a balanced, harmonious world. One where the unseen is as powerful as the seen, and where death is not the end, but a necessary part of the eternal cycle of life. The Dark Elves remind us that in the quiet spaces between worlds, there is great power, and that sometimes the greatest strength comes from working in the shadows. As our journey through the Nine Realms continues, we now find ourselves in Niflheim, the cold and misty realm of ice and frost. Unlike the bright and vibrant world of Alfheim or the dark and shadowy Svartalfheim, Niflheim is a place of cold, stillness, and haunting beauty. It is a land where the chilling touch of ice and the enveloping fog of mist dominate the landscape, creating an atmosphere that is both serene and foreboding. Niflheim is often portrayed as a realm that represents the primordial forces of the universe, those early elements of creation that are raw, unformed, and chaotic. It is a place that speaks to the power of ice and cold, of stasis and stillness, and of the hidden forces that lie beneath the surface of life. Niflheim is a vast, frozen expanse where the air is thin and bitterly cold. The landscape is barren, covered in thick sheets of ice and snow that stretch out for miles in every direction. The horizon is often obscured by a dense fog, which rolls across the icy plains and into the dark forests of frozen trees. The sky is perpetually overcast, and the land itself seems to be in a constant state of twilight, with the light of the sun barely able to break through the thick clouds. The atmosphere is heavy, as though the land itself is holding its breath, waiting for something to break the stillness. The chill of Niflheim is not just physical, but also spiritual, as the realm is often associated with death, decay, and the passage of time. It is a place where life is frozen, where time seems to stand still, and where the forces of ice and mist are both beautiful and dangerous. At the heart of Niflheim lies its ruler, Hel, the goddess of the dead. She is the daughter of the trickster god Loki and the giantess Angerboa, and she presides over the realm of the dead with an air of cold authority. Hel is often depicted as a figure who embodies both life and death. Half of her body is that of a living woman, while the other half is decayed and rotting, a reminder of the inevitability of death. Hel's realm is where the souls of those who die of illness, old age, or other natural causes are taken to rest. It is a place of stillness, where the dead are not punished or tortured, but instead exist in a state of frozen repose. Hel's realm is not a place of torment, but a place of quiet waiting, where the souls of the deceased remain until the end of time, when they will be called to participate in the final battle of Ragnarok. The connection between Niflheim and the forces of ice is deep and ancient. In Norse mythology, ice is seen as one of the primal elements of the universe, along with fire. The interplay between these two elements, the cold, still nature of ice and the chaotic, destructive force of fire, was said to give birth to the first beings in existence, including the primordial giant Ymir. The realm of Niflheim is often depicted as the source of all ice, the place from which the cold and mist spread out to shape the world. It is a realm of potential, a place where nothing exists but the raw, unformed elements that will eventually give birth to creation itself. Despite its association with death and decay, Niflheim is not without its beauty. The icy plains, the misty forests, and the frozen rivers have a haunting, otherworldly quality that speaks to the power of nature in its most primal form. The ice that covers the landscape is not just cold and lifeless. It is full of hidden magic and potential. The frost-covered trees glisten in the dim light, their branches weighed down with the weight of the ice, but still they stand tall, enduring the harsh conditions of the realm. The rivers that flow through Niflheim are crystal clear, their waters frozen into delicate patterns that shimmer in the faint light. There is a strange, fragile beauty to this frozen land, a beauty that comes not from warmth or life, but from the quiet, unyielding presence of ice. Niflheim is also home to the ancient creature known as the Nidhogg, a giant serpent who gnaws at the roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree. Nidhogg is a creature of destruction, feeding on the roots of the tree and threatening the very stability of the cosmos. However, Nidhogg is also a symbol of the inevitable decay that is a part of life. Just as ice and cold are necessary forces in the cycle of life and death, so too is the presence of Nidhogg a reminder that all things must eventually return to the earth. Nidhogg is a creature of darkness and decay, but also of renewal, as its actions contribute to the larger cycles of life and death that govern the Nine Realms. The realm of Niflheim also plays an important role in the cosmology of the Nine Realms, as it is linked to the process of creation and destruction. While the realm of fire, Muspelheim, represents the chaotic forces of creation, Niflheim represents the forces of destruction, decay, and stagnation. Together, these two realms balance each other out, creating a dynamic tension that is at the heart of the Norse understanding of the universe. Without the cold, still presence of Niflheim, The chaotic energy of Muspelheim would be uncontrolled and destructive, and without the heat and energy of Muspelheim, the frozen stasis of Niflheim would be unbroken and eternal. These two realms, opposites in nature, are bound together by the forces of life and death, creation and destruction, the eternal cycle that governs the cosmos. In terms of sleep and relaxation, Niflheim offers a unique, though eerie, atmosphere for those seeking rest. The cold and stillness of the realm can be seen as both a challenge and a comfort. On one hand, the biting cold and the heavy silence can create an oppressive sense of isolation, making it difficult to find peace. On the other hand, there is a calming effect in the stillness, a sense of quiet and solitude that allows for deep introspection. Niflheim offers a space where one can confront the deeper, quieter aspects of existence, where the harshness of the world can be left behind in favor of a more peaceful, reflective state. The cold of Niflheim can be seen as a metaphor for the need to embrace stillness and inner quiet. Like the frozen landscapes of a realm, our minds too can benefit from moments of silence and reflection, where the noise of the world falls away and we are left with only ourselves. Niflheim also teaches us about the inevitability of death and the importance of accepting the passage of time. In a world that often focuses on growth, action, and progress, Niflheim serves as a reminder that all things must eventually come to an end. The cold, the mist, and the decay of this realm speak to the necessary process of life cycles, where death is not an end, but a part of a larger process of transformation. In this realm, death is not feared or avoided, but accepted as a natural part of existence. Niflheim reminds us that life, like ice, is fragile, fleeting, and in constant change, and that we must learn to embrace the stillness and quiet that come with the passage of time. As we leave Niflheim and move on to the next realm, we carry with us the lessons of this icy and enigmatic place. Niflheim teaches us the value of stillness, reflection, and acceptance. It is a realm that speaks to the power of cold and quiet, of decay and renewal. It reminds us that even in the most desolate of places, there is beauty, and that in the quiet moments of life, we can find peace. Through the icy mists and frozen landscapes of Niflheim, we are reminded of the eternal cycles of life and death, and the importance of finding balance within the forces of creation and destruction that shape the universe. As we journey deeper into the Nine Realms, we now find ourselves entering Muspelheim, the fiery and tumultuous realm of fire and destruction. Unlike the cold, still land of Niflheim or the serene beauty of Alfheim, Muspelheim is a realm where the very fabric of the world is imbued with intense heat and unbridled chaos. It is a realm defined by the elemental force of fire, a force that is both creative and destructive, capable of bringing both life and death. Muspelheim is the birthplace of some of the most powerful and chaotic entities in Norse mythology, and its very existence represents the untamed power of creation itself. The fire that burns in Muspelheim is not just physical, but symbolic, representing the raw energy of the universe and the primordial forces that shape the cosmos. Muspelheim is often described as a land of infinite flames, a place where volcanoes erupt with fiery fury and rivers of lava flow through barren, cracked landscapes. The sky is thick with smoke and ash, and the air is scorching hot, filled with the overwhelming presence of fire. It is a land where nothing grows, for the heat of the realm is so intense that it reduces everything to ash. The ground is parched and cracked, and the land is perpetually in a state of violent eruption. There are no peaceful meadows or quiet rivers here. Everything in Muspelheim is in a constant state of motion, driven by the explosive energy of the fire that fuels the realm. This is a world of extremes, where life is created through destruction, and where the forces of chaos and fire reign supreme. At the heart of Muspelheim lies its ruler, Surtr, the great fire giant. Surtr is one of the most feared and powerful figures in Norse mythology, and his role as the ruler of Muspelheim speaks to the intense and destructive nature of the realm itself. Surtur is often depicted as a towering figure, a giant wreathed in flame, wielding a sword of fire that can burn through anything in its path. His power is immense, and he is the embodiment of the chaotic forces that govern Muspelheim. Surtur's very presence in the realm is a reminder that fire, while a force of creation, is also a force of destruction. It is the fire of creation that gave birth to the world, but it is also the fire that will one day bring about the end of the universe in the final battle of Ragnarok. Surtur's rule over Muspelheim is not one of calm or order. Unlike the gods of Asgard, who are often depicted as noble and wise, Surtur is a figure of raw power and primal force. He is not interested in maintaining peace or balance. His realm is one of constant upheaval, where the very air is thick with the heat of his power. In this sense, Muspelheim is the antithesis of the more ordered realms of the gods. It is a place where the forces of fire and destruction cannot be tamed or controlled. Muspelheim, in many ways, represents the raw, untamed power of the universe, the chaotic energy that exists beneath the surface of reality, waiting to be unleashed. The fire that dominates Muspelheim is not just a destructive force. It is also a creative one. In Norse mythology, fire is seen as both a force of destruction and a force of creation. It is through fire that new life is forged, that the world is shaped, and that the forces of chaos give birth to new beings and worlds. The same fire that consumes everything in its path also creates new possibilities, new landscapes, and new forms of existence. In this sense, Muspelheim represents the creative potential of destruction, the idea that in order for something new to emerge, something old must first be burned away. This duality of fire, as both destructive and creative, is at the heart of Muspelheim's essence. One of the most important events in Norse mythology involving Muspelheim is the final battle of Ragnarok, the end of the world. According to the myth, Muspelheim will play a pivotal role in the destruction of the cosmos, as Surtur and his fire giants will lead the charge in the ultimate battle between the gods and the forces of chaos. Surtur's flames will burn the world to the ground, and the heat of Muspelheim will be so intense that the seas will boil, the sky will crack, and the very earth itself will be consumed in fire. This cataclysmic event is seen as a necessary part of the cosmic cycle, as the destruction of the old world will make way for the creation of a new one. Muspelheim, in this sense, represents the idea of cyclical destruction and rebirth, where everything must be consumed by fire before new life can emerge. Despite its association with destruction, Muspelheim is also a realm of great energy and vitality. The fire that burns within it is not just a force of annihilation, but also a force that gives life and sustenance. Just as the heat of the sun provides warmth and nourishment to the earth, so too does the fire of Muspelheim fuel the creation of new worlds and new beings. The fire of Muspelheim is not just about death, it is about transformation. It is through fire that the old is burned away and the new can be born. This is the paradox at the heart of Muspelheim. It is a realm of both death and life, both destruction and creation. It is a place where the raw power of fire shapes the universe and determines the course of destiny. Muspelheim also serves as a reminder of the importance of balance in the universe. While other realms, such as Niflheim, represent coldness and stillness, Muspelheim represents the opposite force, the raw, chaotic energy of fire. Together, these two realms form a delicate balance, where the forces of heat and cold, creation and destruction, work in tandem to shape the cosmos. Without Muspelheim's fire, the universe would remain frozen and lifeless, while without Niflheim's cold, the fire of Muspelheim would burn out of control, consuming everything in its path. The tension between these two realms, fire and ice, chaos and order, is what drives the universe forward, creating a dynamic interplay that sustains all of creation. In terms of sleep and relaxation, Muspelheim may seem like an unlikely place to find peace. Its extreme heat and chaotic energy are far removed from the tranquil landscapes of Alfheim or the calming stillness of Niflheim. However, Muspelheim can be viewed as a realm that represents the inner fire that burns within each of us. It is a place where raw energy and passion are unleashed and where the forces of transformation are at work. In this sense, Muspelheim can be seen as a metaphor for the internal drive and vitality that propel us forward in life. The fire of Muspelheim represents the energy we use to create, to change, and to transform ourselves and the world around us. In the quiet moments of rest, we may reflect on the nature of Muspelheim's energy, the power of creation and destruction that resides in all things. The fire that burns in this realm is not just a force of destruction. It is a force that can ignite new beginnings, spark new ideas, and fuel our passion for life. While Muspelheim is a realm of extreme heat and energy, it is also a realm of renewal. Just as the fire of Muspelheim burns away the old to make room for the new, so too can we use the quiet moments of rest to reflect on our own personal transformations and the ways in which we can harness our inner energy to create positive change in our lives. As we leave Muspelheim and continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the lessons of this fiery realm. That destruction is not always an end, but a necessary part of the cycle of creation. Muspelheim teaches us the importance of harnessing our inner fire, of embracing the transformative power of chaos, and of understanding that both creation and destruction are essential to the ongoing evolution of the universe. In this realm of fire and fury, we are reminded that change is constant, that energy is ever-present, and that from the ashes of the old, new life will always emerge. As we continue our exploration of the Nine Realms, we now arrive in Vanaheim, the fertile and peaceful realm of the Vanir, the gods of nature, fertility, and abundance. Unlike the other realms we have encountered, which are often marked by conflict and chaos, Vanaheim is a place of harmony, growth, and natural beauty. It is a realm where the forces of life are nurtured, where the cycles of nature, planting and harvest, birth and death, are respected and celebrated. The Vanir, who inhabit this realm, embody the ideals of fertility, prosperity, and connection with the earth. Their realm is one that sustains life, and their influence extends far beyond their borders, shaping the world in subtle yet profound ways. Vanaheim is often depicted as a lush, verdant land, full of forests, meadows, and rolling hills. The landscape is alive with the vibrant energy of nature, where trees grow tall and strong, flowers bloom in every color, and rivers flow freely through the land. The air is fresh and clean, filled with the sense of blooming plants and ripening fruit. This realm is a place of abundance, where the cycles of life unfold with effortless grace. The sun shines brightly here, bathing the land in golden light, and the weather is gentle and temperate. Vanaheim is a realm where the beauty of a natural world is allowed to flourish unimpeded by the harsh forces of destruction or decay. In many ways, it is a paradise, a realm where the forces of life are in perfect balance and harmony. The Vanir gods, who rule Vanaheim, are closely connected to the forces of nature and the earth. They are gods of fertility, growth, and the cycles of life, and their powers are tied to the rhythms of the natural world. The Vanir gods are often depicted as being in tune with the land, working with the earth to ensure that the crops grow, the animals are well fed, and the seasons change at their proper time. Unlike the Aesir, the gods of Asgard, who are often depicted as warriors and rulers, the Vanir are seen as more gentle and nurturing deities, focused on the sustenance and flourishing of life rather than conquest and power. Their wisdom is rooted in the understanding of the natural world, and they are able to call upon the forces of nature to bring about abundance and prosperity. At the heart of Vanaheim lies its most prominent figure, Njord, the god of the sea, wind, and fertility. Njord is a figure of great power and influence, and his domain over the seas and the winds allows him to bring prosperity to the land. He is often depicted as a calm and wise deity, deeply connected to the natural rhythms of the world. Njord's influence extends far beyond the shores of Vanaheim, as he controls the winds that guide the ships of sailors and the seas that provide fish and other resources. His power over the elements makes him a vital figure in the lives of those who depend on the earth's abundance, whether they are farmers, sailors, or travelers. Njord represents the connection between the Vanir gods and the world of mortals, as his blessings ensure that the cycles of nature continue to unfold smoothly. In addition to Njord, Vanaheim is also home to his children, the twins Freyr and Freya, two of the most important and revered deities in Norse mythology. Freyr is the god of fertility, prosperity, and peace, and he is often associated with agriculture, wealth, and the harvest. He is a god who brings abundance to the land, ensuring that the crops grow and the animals thrive. Freyr is also known for his kindness and generosity, and he is often depicted as a benevolent deity who works in harmony with the natural world to bring prosperity to the people. Freya, his twin sister, is the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility, as well as the ruler of the afterlife. Freya is one of the most complex and multifaceted deities in Norse mythology, embodying both the nurturing, motherly qualities of the earth and the more powerful, assertive aspects of the divine. As the goddess of love and beauty, Freya represents the sensual and passionate side of life, and she is also associated with fertility, sexual desire, and the magic of the natural world. She is a powerful figure, and her influence extends into the realms of death and rebirth, where she rules over the afterlife realm of Folkvang. While the Vanir gods are more peaceful and benevolent in nature compared to the Aesir gods of Asgard, their influence is nonetheless incredibly powerful. The Vanir are responsible for maintaining the balance of nature, ensuring that the earth remains fertile and abundant. Their connection to the land and its rhythms makes them integral to the health of the world and to the continued prosperity of all living things. The Vanir gods are the custodians of the earth, working with the forces of nature to ensure that life continues to flourish and grow. However, the Vanir are not without their conflicts. The history of the Vanir is marked by a great war with the Aesir gods, a conflict that began when the Aesir and Vanir found themselves at odds over matters of power and influence. This war between the gods was one of great violence and upheaval, and it threatened to destabilize the very foundations of the Nine Realms. Eventually, the conflict ended in a peace treaty, with both sides agreeing to exchange hostages and work together for the greater good of the cosmos. This peace forged a lasting alliance between the Aesir and Vanir, and from this alliance came the union of gods and mortals, a bond that helped maintain the balance of the Nine Realms. The war and its resolution highlight the delicate nature of balance within the universe, where even the most peaceful and harmonious of realms can find themselves embroiled in conflict. Vanaheim is not just a realm of gods, but a place where the forces of nature are given life and expression. The realm is filled with forests, fields, and rivers, each of which is imbued with the energies of the Vanir. The animals of Vanaheim are abundant, and the creatures of the forest live in harmony with the land. It is a realm where the seasons change with the natural flow of time, where the spring brings new growth and the fall harvests the fruits of the land. The cycles of birth and death are in perfect balance here, and the land itself seems to be alive with the energies of creation. In this sense, Vanaheim represents the principle of natural order, where life is allowed to grow and flourish in its own time. In Norse mythology, the Vanir are often seen as the gods who bring abundance and prosperity to the world, and their connection to the earth and its cycles makes them an essential part of the larger cosmology of the Nine Realms. Their powers over fertility, agriculture, and nature are what ensure the continued survival of all living beings. Without the Vanir's influence, the world would fall into famine and decay. They are the guardians of life itself, working behind the scenes to ensure that the forces of nature remain in balance and that the cycles of life continue to unfold as they should. In the context of sleep and relaxation, Vanaheim represents a peaceful haven where one can connect with the calming energies of nature. The serene landscapes, filled with lush forests, flowing rivers, and fertile fields, provide a sense of peace and tranquility. The rhythm of nature, the ebb and flow of the seasons, the cycles of planting and harvest, the quiet hum of life, is a soothing backdrop to restful slumber. In the stillness of Vanaheim, one can find a deep sense of connection with the earth and its natural rhythms, allowing the mind and body to relax and rejuvenate. The energies of the Vanir, so closely tied to the forces of fertility and life, remind us of the importance of nurturing ourselves and the world around us. As we leave Vanaheim and continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the lessons of this realm. That balance, harmony, and the nurturing of life are essential to the continued prosperity of the world. Vanaheim, with its abundance and natural beauty, serves as a reminder that the forces of nature must be respected and cared for if we are to maintain the health and vitality of the world. In the realm of the Vanir, we learn that the earth cycles are not just physical processes, but spiritual ones as well, connected to the rhythms of life, death, and rebirth. The peace and prosperity of Vanaheim remind us that harmony with the natural world is not just a luxury, but a necessity for the well-being of all life. Our journey through the Nine Realms now brings us to Asgard, the realm of the Aesir gods, a majestic and powerful place that is at the heart of Norse mythology. Asgard is the home of the gods who oversee the world's order, justice, and cosmic balance. It is a realm of grandeur, where towering palaces of gold and shining halls stretch into the heavens, and the very sky glows with divine energy. Asgard is often described as a realm of warriors, rulers, and champions, a place where the gods engage in the eternal struggle to protect the universe from chaos and destruction. But beneath the surface of its impressive architecture and divine influence, Asgard is a realm deeply intertwined with the values of honor, strength, and duty. The Aesir gods who rule over Asgard are not only concerned with their own glory, but with the well-being and preservation of the Nine Realms as a whole. Asgard's architecture is a reflection of its grandeur and strength. The realm is known for its towering, golden halls, the most famous of which is Valhalla, the Hall of the Slain, where brave warriors who die in battle are honored and welcomed by Odin, the All-Father. Valhalla is often depicted as a vast, magnificent hall with a roof made of shields and a floor of polished gold. Here, the greatest warriors are chosen by the Valkyries to spend their afterlife, feasting and fighting in preparation for the final battle of Ragnarok. It is a place of eternal glory and camaraderie, where warriors are granted the highest honor for their bravery and valor. The other halls of Asgard, such as the majestic palace of Odin, are similarly impressive, made of gleaming stone and surrounded by vast gardens and high walls. Asgard, in this sense, is a realm that symbolizes both divine power and the noble pursuit of justice and honor. At the center of Asgard's rule is Odin, the All-Father, the chief of the Aesir gods. Odin is a god of wisdom, war, and poetry, and he is often depicted as a wise, all-knowing figure who has sacrificed much in his quest for knowledge. Odin's role as the ruler of Asgard goes far beyond that of a mere king. He is a god of war and strategy, seeking to protect the world from the forces of chaos and destruction that threaten it. Odin is known for his deep understanding of the cosmos and its hidden mysteries, and he is constantly seeking to expand his knowledge, even at great personal cost. His sacrifice of one of his eyes to gain wisdom from the Well of Mimir is one of the most famous myths associated with him, and it illustrates his willingness to sacrifice everything for the greater good. Odin's wisdom, however, is not only intellectual. It is also practical and deeply connected to his role as a leader. He is a god of war and battle, and his strategies are often centered around ensuring the survival of the gods and mortals alike in the face of adversity. Odin's son, Thor, is one of the most iconic figures of Norse mythology, and he plays a central role in Asgard's defense against the forces of chaos. Thor is the god of thunder, strength, and protection, and he is often depicted wielding his mighty hammer, Mjolnir, which he uses to strike down his enemies. Thor is the archetype of the warrior, brave, strong, and relentless in battle. But Thor's role in Asgard goes beyond that of a mere fighter. He is also a protector of both the gods and the human world. His constant battles with giants and other destructive forces are not just for glory, but for the protection of a natural order and the well-being of all living beings. Thor represents the ideals of courage, loyalty, and selflessness, and his actions often reflect a deep sense of responsibility toward the preservation of the Nine Realms. Despite his fierce nature, Thor also embodies qualities of humility and duty, making him one of the most beloved gods in Norse mythology. Alongside Odin and Thor, there is a host of other important gods and goddesses who reside in Asgard. Frigg, Odin's wife, is the goddess of marriage, motherhood, and fertility. She is often depicted as a wise and compassionate figure who helps maintain the balance of family and community. Balder, the son of Odin and Frigg, is another important deity in Asgard. He is associated with beauty, light, and purity, and his tragic death plays a key role in the events leading up to Ragnarok. Loki, the trickster god, is one of the most complex and controversial figures in Norse mythology. Though he is technically a member of the Aesir, his actions often serve to disrupt the peace of Asgard, leading to both mischief and calamity. Despite his misdeeds, Loki is a god of great cunning and intelligence, and his role in the pantheon is one of both challenge and necessary disruption. Together, these gods form the central pantheon of Asgard, each contributing to the realm's power and influence in their own unique ways. Asgard's role in the Nine Realms is not only that of a powerful kingdom, but also a place of cosmic balance and protection. The Aesir gods are not just warriors and rulers. They're the guardians of order and stability in the universe. Asgard is positioned at the top of the world tree, Yggdrasil, and from this high vantage point, the Aesir gods watch over the other realms. They're the protectors of the balance between life and death, creation and destruction, light and dark. Their role in the cosmic order is to maintain harmony between the forces that shape the universe, ensuring that chaos does not overrun the world. This responsibility is not taken lightly by the Aesir gods, and they're constantly engaged in battle, diplomacy, and strategy to ensure that the realms remain in balance. In this sense, Asgard serves as the focal point of divine authority and the will of the gods. The connection between Asgard and the human world, Midgard, is especially strong. The Aesir gods are intimately involved with the lives of humans, often intervening in their affairs to ensure that the world remains in harmony. Many of the gods, such as Thor and Odin, are said to walk among mortals, teaching them wisdom, strength, and the values of courage and honor. The relationship between the gods of Asgard and humanity is one of mutual respect, where the gods act as both protectors and guides, while mortals honor the gods through rituals, sacrifices, and the observance of divine law. The realm of Asgard is, in many ways, a reflection of the ideal society, one that upholds the values of justice, honor, and respect for the forces that govern the world. However, Asgard's connection to the forces of war and destruction cannot be ignored. The gods of Asgard, despite their noble virtues, are constantly at war with the giants, who are seen as embodiments of chaos and destruction. This ongoing struggle is symbolic of the larger cosmic battle between order and chaos that defines the universe. The Aesir gods are not passive rulers. They are active participants in the ongoing defense of the Nine Realms against the forces that seek to destroy it. This constant state of warfare gives Asgard a sense of urgency and purpose, as the gods must remain ever vigilant against the encroachment of chaos and destruction. In terms of sleep and relaxation, Asgard may not seem like the most peaceful of realms, given its associations with war and conflict. However, the divine energy that permeates Asgard can also be soothing and rejuvenating. The beauty of Asgard's halls, its shining palaces, and its golden halls offer a sense of grandeur and awe, while the presence of the gods themselves provides a comforting sense of protection and stability. As you relax in this realm, you are surrounded by the energy of the Aesir, beings who understand the importance of balance and justice in the world. There is a sense of peace that comes from knowing that these gods are watching over the nine realms, ensuring that all is as it should be. As we leave Asgard behind and continue our journey through the nine realms, we carry with us the lessons of this divine realm, that strength, honor, and justice are the cornerstones of a well-ordered world. Asgard represents the ideal of divine rule, where the gods work to maintain balance, protect the world from chaos, and ensure that the forces of destruction do not overpower the forces of creation. The presence of the Aesir gods in Asgard serves as a reminder that, while the universe may be filled with conflict, there is always a force for good working to preserve the balance and bring harmony to the nine realms. Our journey through the nine realms now brings us to Jotunheim, the rugged and untamed realm of the Jotnar, or giants. Jotunheim is a place that is often depicted as a land of chaos and wildness, a realm where the forces of destruction and disorder are embodied in its giant inhabitants. It is a stark contrast to the other realms, particularly Asgard, which is associated with order, stability, and divine rule. Jotunheim, by contrast, represents the untamable forces of nature, the raw and primal energy that cannot be contained or controlled. It is a realm where the gods, with all their power and wisdom, must constantly contend with the chaotic and unpredictable forces that the giants represent. The landscape of Jotunheim is one of harsh beauty, a land of towering mountains, deep forests, and vast, unforgiving wilderness. The terrain is often described as being rugged and inhospitable, where the ground is rocky and jagged, and the air is thick with mist and cold. The sky is often overcast, casting the realm in a shadow of gloom and mystery. The jagged peaks of the mountains stretch high into the sky, their snow-capped tops piercing the clouds, while the valleys below are filled with dense, dark forests that seem to hold secrets of their own. Rivers and streams flow swiftly through the land, cutting through the rock and creating deep ravines. The land itself seems to be alive with the raw power of nature, untamed, unpredictable, and in constant motion. It is a place where the forces of creation and destruction collide, where the elements are constantly in flux, and where nothing is ever truly stable. The giants of Jotunheim, known as the Jotnar, are often depicted as towering, powerful beings of immense size and strength. These giants are the embodiments of chaos, representing the destructive forces that exist in the universe. The Jotnar are not inherently evil, but they are often seen as the natural adversaries of the gods, especially the Aesir. Their chaotic nature and disregard for the established order make them a constant threat to the gods and the world of men. The giants' role in the cosmos is to challenge the gods, to disrupt the balance that they strive to maintain, and to bring about change and destruction. While the Aesir gods seek to preserve the world and maintain order, the Jotnar represent the forces of change, decay, and renewal. They are not just antagonists, but vital participants in the ongoing cycle of creation and destruction that defines the cosmos. At the heart of Jotunheim is the home of the giant king, Thrym, and his court. Thrym is one of the most famous of the Jotnar, known for his cunning and strength. He is a giant who possesses both intelligence and power, making him a formidable opponent for the gods. Thrym's kingdom is located in a remote part of Jotunheim, hidden deep within the mountains, where the air is thick with mist and the winds howl through the valleys. His home is a dark and foreboding place, filled with the echoes of ancient power and the weight of the giant's long history. Thrym's kingdom is not just a physical place, but a symbol of the raw, untamed power that the Jotnar wield in the world. The Jotnar are not a monolithic group, but a diverse and varied race. Some giants are cruel and malicious, seeking to destroy the gods and all they represent. Others are more neutral, acting as forces of nature rather than as agents of chaos. Still others are wise and ancient, holding knowledge of the cosmos that the gods do not possess. The giants are a complex and multifaceted race, and their role in Norse mythology is not simply one of villainy. They represent the natural forces that are beyond human control, the elemental powers that shape the world. The Jotunheim's actions, whether destructive or beneficial, are driven by the same forces that govern the rest of the universe, forces that are beyond comprehension and beyond the control of any one being. In terms of their relationship with the gods, the giants are often portrayed as adversaries, but this is not always the case. In fact, many of the gods have had interactions with the giants that are not purely antagonistic. One of the most famous examples is the relationship between the god Thor and the giantess Jr, the personification of the earth. Thor is often depicted as battling the giants, but he is also the son of Jr, and his connection to the giants is thus both familial and complex. The gods and the giants are locked in a cosmic struggle, but this struggle is not one of pure good versus evil. The giants are necessary for the functioning of the cosmos, for they represent the forces of change, destruction, and transformation that are essential to the ongoing cycles of the world. The giants are also important in the creation myths of Norse mythology. In many ways, the giants are the primordial beings from whom the world was created. According to the myth, the first being in the universe was the giant Ymir, a being of ice and fire who was born from the primordial chaos of the void. Ymir's body was said to have given rise to the world. His flesh became the earth, his blood became the seas, his bones became the mountains, and his skull became the sky. From Ymir's death, the world as we know it was formed. In this way, the giants are not just agents of destruction. They're also the architects of creation, for without their primal energy, the world would not exist. The relationship between the giants and the gods is one of constant tension, but also one of mutual dependence. The giants represent the forces that shape the world, while the gods represent the forces that seek to preserve it. In the context of sleep and relaxation, Jotunheim may seem like an unlikely place for peace and calm. The realm is filled with wild energy, chaotic forces, and primal power. However, Jotunheim also offers a sense of awe and wonder, as its untamed landscapes speak to the raw beauty of the natural world. The jagged mountains, the deep forests, and the rushing rivers are all part of a larger cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The chaos of Jotunheim is not something to fear, but something to respect and understand. The realm is a reminder of the untamed forces of nature that exist outside of human control, forces that shape the world and influence all that lives within it. Jotunheim is also a place of quiet reflection for those who can look beyond its chaos. The giants may be destructive, but they also represent the natural cycle of life and death, creation and destruction. In the same way that the seasons change, so too does the world evolve, with new life rising from the ashes of the old. Jotunheim is a place where the forces of nature are allowed to run wild. But in this wildness, there's a kind of order, a natural rhythm that governs all things. The realm serves as a reminder that even in the midst of chaos, there is beauty, and that destruction is often the first step toward renewal. As we leave Jotunheim and continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the lessons of this wild and primal realm. That chaos, while seemingly destructive, is a necessary force in the ongoing cycle of life and death. The giants of Jotunheim are not just antagonists. They're the forces that shape the world, that bring about change and transformation. They remind us that all things must change, and that even in destruction, there's potential for new life. Jotunheim teaches us to embrace the untamed forces of nature, to accept the cycles of creation and destruction, and to understand that chaos is not an enemy, but a vital part of the natural order. Our journey through the Nine Realms now brings us to Niflheim, a realm defined by its chilling beauty and the primordial forces of ice and cold. Niflheim is a place of contrasts, where the freezing winds bite and the frost spreads endlessly over vast, barren landscapes. It is a realm of death and decay, yet also one of ancient origins, as it was from this place that the very forces that shaped the cosmos were born. Niflheim, along with its counterpart Muspelheim, is one of the two primordial realms that existed before the creation of the Nine Realms. In many ways, Niflheim represents the harsh, unyielding forces of nature that exist before life begins. Cold, silent, and still. It is a land of eternal winter, where the very essence of the world is in a state of frozen stasis. The landscape of Niflheim is one of icy mountains, glaciers, and desolate plains. The realm is covered in an endless layer of frost, and the air is thick with cold, biting winds that seem to cut through everything they touch. The land is barren, with no signs of life except for the occasional flicker of light or shadow that may appear in the distance. The ground is slick with ice, and the rivers and lakes that flow through the land are frozen over, their surfaces covered in a thick layer of snow and frost. The sky above is a pale, icy blue, and the sun barely breaks through the cloud cover, casting only a dim light over the frozen world. It is a realm where life seems to have long since faded, and all that remains is the frozen remnants of what once was. The primary figure associated with Niflheim is Hel, the goddess of death, who rules over the realm of the dead. Hel is the daughter of the trickster god Loki and the giantess Angerboa, and she is one of the most enigmatic figures in Norse mythology. Hel's role in Niflheim is to oversee the souls of those who die of illness or old age, guiding them to her realm for an eternity of stillness and silence. In this sense, Niflheim is not a place of torment like the Christian concept of hell, but rather a place of quiet isolation and endless waiting. Those who find themselves in Niflheim are not punished, but instead exist in a state of frozen repose, cut off from the warmth and vitality of the living world. Hel's realm, often called Helheim, is described as a bleak and desolate place, filled with shadows and mist. The gates to Helheim are said to be guarded by a monstrous wolf, and the souls of the dead must cross a bridge to reach their final resting place. Once inside, the souls of the dead are divided into various halls based on the manner of their death, but they are all subject to the cold and stillness of Niflheim. There is no fire in Helheim, no warmth, no color, only the cold, silent expanse of the frozen land. The dead here are not tormented in the traditional sense. Rather, they live in a state of unchanging stasis, removed from the passions and turmoil of the mortal world. In many ways, Niflheim represents the inevitability of death, the final state of all living things before they are forgotten and frozen in time. Despite its association with death and decay, Niflheim also represents the fundamental force that gives birth to life. In the creation myths of Norse mythology, it is from Niflheim's icy realm that the first being, Ymir, was born. Ymir's body is said to have been the source of the world's creation. His flesh became the earth, his blood became the seas, and his bones became the mountains. The ancient ice of Niflheim was the birthplace of all creation, and it is from the cold, primordial depths of this realm that the forces of life and death emerged. In this sense, Niflheim can be seen not just as a realm of death, but as a realm of origins, a place where the world itself was born from the cold, frozen void. Niflheim is also linked to the great cosmic cycle of creation and destruction. It is a realm that exists in a delicate balance with its fiery counterpart, Muspelheim. The two realms, one of ice and one of fire, represent the forces of opposing elements that created the world. According to the myth, when the cold, icy Niflheim met the fiery heat of Muspelheim, the melting ice gave birth to the first living beings, including Ymir, the progenitor of the giants. This primordial meeting of ice and fire is what initiated the process of creation, bringing forth the world as we know it. Thus, Niflheim's role in the universe is not one of pure stagnation or decay, but rather one of potential, the frozen state of being before transformation occurs. As we reflect on the nature of Niflheim, we see that it is a realm that embodies the paradox of life and death. While it is a place of death, it is also a place of transition, a realm where the end of one cycle gives rise to the beginning of another. The icy stillness of Niflheim is not the end of all things, but rather a necessary step in the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Just as the frozen earth holds the potential for new life to sprout in the spring, so too does Niflheim hold the potential for new beginnings after the end of a life. In this way, Niflheim serves as a reminder that even in death, there is the potential for transformation and renewal. The coldness of Niflheim is not just physical, but also symbolic. It represents the emotional distance that can arise between the living and the dead, the stillness that exists when all motion ceases, and the isolation that comes with the end of life. The icy landscape of Niflheim mirrors the emotional and spiritual coldness that often accompanies grief and loss, the sense of separation from those who have passed. Yet, in this coldness, there's also a quiet kind of peace. The dead are not in torment, but in a state of suspended animation, removed from the pain and strife of the living world. Niflheim, in this way, can be seen as a place of rest for the weary soul, a realm where time slows down and the soul can exist in eternal peace, free from the worries and turmoil of the mortal world. For those seeking sleep and relaxation, the realm of Niflheim may seem like a place of bleakness, but it also offers a sense of quietude and serenity. The cold, silent expanse of Niflheim offers a space for contemplation and reflection, a realm where one can let go of the chaos and noise of the world and rest in the stillness of the frozen land. The icy beauty of Niflheim encourages a state of calm detachment, allowing the mind to quiet and the body to relax. In the realm of Niflheim, one can find peace in the stillness, where the cold air and the vast emptiness of the land allow for deep rest and recovery. Just as the frozen earth holds the promise of future life, so too does Niflheim offer a chance for renewal and rejuvenation in the quiet and restful silence of its icy embrace. As we leave Niflheim and continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the lessons of this frozen land, that death, while an inevitable part of the cycle of life, is not an end but a transformation. Niflheim teaches us that even in the cold stillness of death, there is the potential for rebirth and renewal. Just as the frozen earth will eventually thaw, bringing forth new life, so too do the cycles of life and death bring new beginnings after the end of each cycle. The realm of Niflheim reminds us that even in the darkest, coldest moments, there is always the potential for growth and transformation, and that death is but a part of the greater cosmic dance that shapes all life. As we continue our exploration of the Nine Realms, we now find ourselves in Muspelheim, the realm of fire, heat, and chaos. Muspelheim is one of the most ancient and volatile realms in Norse mythology, often considered to be the opposite of Niflheim, the realm of ice. Together, these two realms, Muspelheim and Niflheim, represent the primordial forces of the universe, fire and ice. It is from the collision of these two forces that the world was born, and Muspelheim stands as the embodiment of that raw, primal energy. Whereas Niflheim is cold and still, Muspelheim is searing, ever-changing, and full of destructive potential. It is a realm of intense heat, fiery landscapes, and the kind of chaos that brings both creation and destruction. In this realm, fire reigns supreme, and its presence is felt in every corner of the land. Muspelheim is often depicted as a realm of scorching flames, volcanic mountains, and molten rivers that flow with liquid fire. The very air itself is thick with heat, oppressive and suffocating, and the ground is cracked and burning. Massive lava flows carve their way through the landscape, creating rivers of fire that cascade down into chasms, forming lakes of molten rock. The skies above are often dark and filled with smoke, as ash falls like rain, and the sun is obscured by the constant swirl of smoke and heat. The realm is inhospitable, a place where the fires never die and the temperature is always extreme. It is a world where nothing can survive without being consumed by the intense heat. Yet within that heat, life is constantly being forged and reshaped. Muspelheim, in many ways, is a place of continuous creation through destruction, where fire serves as both a destroyer and a creator. At the heart of Muspelheim is its ruler, Surtur, the great fire giant. Surtur is one of the most formidable figures in Norse mythology, and his role in the cosmology of the Nine Realms is as the harbinger of the end times, Ragnarok. Surtur is often depicted as a giant of immense size and power, with a flaming sword that he wields to devastating effect. He is the embodiment of fire's destructive force, and his very presence is a reminder of the inevitable chaos that awaits the world. Surtur's role in Ragnarok is central to the mythological narrative, as it is said that he will lead the forces of Muspelheim in the final battle against the gods and the other realms. With his fiery sword, Surtur will set the world ablaze, bringing about the destruction of Asgard, Midgard, and the other realms. His actions will signal the end of the current cosmic cycle and the beginning of a new one, where the old world is destroyed and a new one is reborn from the ashes. Despite Surtur's association with destruction, Muspelheim is not a realm of senseless chaos. Like the other realms, it has its own form of order, one that is governed by the constant cycle of creation and destruction. The fires of Muspelheim are not just forces of death, but also forces of transformation. Fire, in this sense, is both a purifier and a creator. The fires of Muspelheim forge new life from the ashes of the old, much like how the earth is reborn after a wildfire. The volcanic eruptions that scar the landscape are not just destructive forces. They are also the birthplace of new land, new rock formations, and new possibilities. Muspelheim represents the paradox of fire itself. While it is capable of destroying everything in its path, it is also the force that shapes the world and makes new life possible. The destruction wrought by fire is never final. It is always followed by a rebirth, a renewal that leads to new growth and new beginnings. Surtur and the fire giants of Muspelheim are not the only beings that inhabit this fiery realm. Muspelheim is also home to a variety of fire-based creatures and entities, many of which are dangerous and powerful. These beings are often depicted as embodiments of the elemental forces of fire, creatures of smoke, flame, and heat. They are beings that thrive in the extreme conditions of a realm, feeding off the endless supply of heat and fire. These creatures are both destructive and creative, capable of inciting chaos, but also of forging new paths through the realm's harsh environment. Muspelheim is a place where survival is not guaranteed, and only the strongest, most adaptable beings can endure the constant heat and turmoil. In many ways, Muspelheim represents the energy of transformation and change. Unlike the stillness of Niflheim, Muspelheim is a place of constant motion and upheaval. The land is always shifting, the fires are always burning, and the chaos is never far from the surface. This constant movement is reflective of the nature of fire itself, which is always in a state of flux, constantly consuming and renewing itself. The very nature of fire is one of transformation. It changes whatever it touches, leaving nothing the same as it was before. Muspelheim, then, is a realm of constant evolution, where nothing remains static and everything is in a state of perpetual change. One of the most important themes in Muspelheim is the idea of fire as both a creator and a destroyer. While fire can bring destruction, it also brings warmth, light, and the possibility of new life. In the context of Muspelheim, fire represents the force of creation through destruction. Just as a forest fire clears the old growth to make way for new plants to sprout, the fire of Muspelheim clears the way for the world to be reborn in the aftermath of its burning. This idea of fire as a force of both destruction and creation is central to many cultures and belief systems, and it is particularly prominent in Norse mythology, where fire's role in shaping the world is acknowledged as both essential and inevitable. In addition to its association with destruction, Muspelheim also has connections to the concept of heat as a vital force in life. Heat is what allows life to thrive. It is the energy that sustains the cosmos and enables things to grow and develop. Without the warmth and energy of fire, the world would be a cold, lifeless place. Muspelheim, as the realm of fire, represents the power that heat and energy have in sustaining life. It is a reminder that, while fire can destroy, it is also the source of all life and vitality. The warmth that radiates from Muspelheim is what makes the living world possible, and it is through the flames of this realm that life is continually reborn. For those seeking rest and relaxation, Muspelheim may seem an unlikely realm to visit. The intense heat and constant flames of the realm may appear to be overwhelming, but there is a certain peace to be found in the understanding of fire's cyclical nature. The flames of Muspelheim, while dangerous and destructive, also offer a sense of transformation and renewal. The fire here is not the fire of torment, but the fire that burns away the old to make room for the new. It is a reminder that, in life, we must sometimes undergo processes of change and destruction in order to make way for new growth. Muspelheim teaches us that even in the most intense moments of chaos, there is potential for renewal, and that the destructive forces in our lives are often the catalyst for new beginnings. As we leave Muspelheim and continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the lessons of this fiery realm, that destruction is not always a negative force, but one that brings about necessary change and transformation. Muspelheim reminds us that life is a constant process of creation and destruction, and that through fire, we are given the opportunity to grow, evolve, and start anew. The flames of Muspelheim are not just a force of chaos, but a force of life itself, shaping the world through both creation and destruction. The realm teaches us to embrace change, to recognize the power of transformation, and to understand that, even in the heat of the moment, there is always the potential for rebirth. In our exploration of the Nine Realms, we now arrive at Alfheim, the ethereal and radiant realm of the elves. Alfheim is a place of light, beauty, and magic, a realm where the forces of nature, art, and grace intertwine. It is a realm that exists in stark contrast to the other realms we have encountered, such as the fiery Muspelheim or the frozen Niflheim. Alfheim is a land of serenity and delicate harmony, where everything is imbued with an aura of wonder and elegance. The realm is described as a land of green fields, tranquil forests, and shimmering lakes, where the air is light and filled with the scent of blooming flowers. The light in Alfheim is soft and golden, casting a gentle glow over everything it touches, giving the realm an almost dreamlike quality. The elves who inhabit Alfheim are often seen as the most graceful and enchanting of beings in the Nine Realms. They are associated with light, beauty, and art, and their very presence is said to bring a sense of peace and harmony to the world around them. The elves are skilled in magic, craftsmanship, and music, and they are deeply connected to the natural world. They possess an ethereal quality, often described as otherworldly, and their appearance is said to reflect the purity and radiance of the realm they inhabit. The elves are not like the mortal beings of Midgard. They are ageless, with long lives that span centuries, and they possess a deep understanding of the world's magic and mysteries. Their connection to Alfheim is one of symbiosis. Just as the elves are a reflection of the beauty and grace of the realm, so too does the realm seem to reflect the qualities of the elves. At the heart of Alfheim stands the realm's ruler, the Light Elf King, often referred to as the King of the Elves. Though not as widely known as other figures in Norse mythology, the King of Alfheim plays an important role in the cosmic order. He is depicted as a wise and benevolent ruler, one who maintains the balance and peace of Alfheim, ensuring that the realm remains a place of tranquility and beauty. The Light Elves are, under his guidance, responsible for the upkeep of the natural order within their realm, ensuring that the forces of nature remain in harmony. The king of Alfheim's rule is one of wisdom and grace, where the natural beauty of the land is preserved, and the elves continue their work as guardians of light and life. Alfheim is often described as a realm of eternal day, where the sun shines bright and the sky is filled with a soft, golden light. The light in Alfheim is unlike that of any other realm. It is not harsh or blinding, but gentle and soothing. The radiance that fills the realm is said to have a calming effect on those who enter, filling them with a sense of peace and tranquility. The land itself is filled with lush forests, meadows of vibrant flowers, and sparkling rivers that shimmer in the sunlight. The elves' connection to the land is profound. They're not only its caretakers, but its stewards, working to ensure that the natural beauty of Alfheim is never lost. The elves' mastery of magic allows them to shape the land to their will, creating enchanted gardens, harmonious music, and works of art that bring life and light to the realm. In addition to their physical beauty, the elves of Alfheim are also deeply spiritual beings. They are often associated with the forces of light and healing, and they are believed to have a special connection to the divine. The elves are said to be intermediaries between the gods and the mortal world, carrying the will of the gods to the realms below and ensuring that the balance of the universe is maintained. Their wisdom and understanding of the world's magic make them valuable allies to the gods, and they are often called upon to assist in matters of great importance. The elves' connection to the divine is not one of worship, but of harmony. They work with the gods, rather than for them, ensuring that the natural world continues to thrive and that the forces of light remain undisturbed. The elves' role in Norse mythology is one of grace and balance. They are not warriors like the Asgard gods, nor are they forces of chaos like the Jotunheim. Instead, the elves represent the forces of creation, beauty, and harmony. They are the artists, the poets, and the musicians of the Nine Realms, and their work is one that reflects the natural world in its most perfect form. Their magic is one of subtlety and elegance, and they do not seek to control or dominate the world around them. Instead, they work with it, shaping and guiding it toward beauty and balance. The elves' role in a larger cosmic order is to ensure that the forces of light and life continue to flow, maintaining the delicate balance between creation and destruction. Alfheim, while a realm of beauty and light, also represents the fragility of balance. As we have seen in other realms, the forces of chaos and destruction are always present, even in the most serene of places. The elves, while powerful in their own right, must constantly work to preserve the peace of their realm, ensuring that the forces of darkness do not seep in and disrupt the harmony of Alfheim. This balance is delicate, and the elves understand that their role as stewards of light is a constant responsibility. They must guard against the forces of shadow and entropy, which could easily disrupt the order they have worked so hard to maintain. One of the key stories associated with Alfheim involves the relationship between the elves and the gods, particularly the gods of Asgard. The elves are often seen as allies to the Aesir, assisting them in various matters of importance. However, their relationship with the gods is not one of subservience. Rather, it is one of mutual respect and understanding. The elves and the gods are united in their shared goal of maintaining the balance of the cosmos, and their interactions are often based on a sense of cooperation and harmony. The elves are not beholden to the gods in the same way that mortals are. Instead, they work alongside them, offering their wisdom and magical abilities when needed. The elves' connection to the gods is one of partnership, and their actions often help guide the course of events in the Nine Realms. While the elves are often depicted as peaceful and benevolent beings, they are not without their own complexities. They are deeply connected to the forces of light and nature, but they are also creatures of magic, and magic in the world of the gods is rarely simple or entirely benign. The elves possess powers that are beyond the comprehension of mortals, and their ability to manipulate the forces of nature can sometimes have unintended consequences. This complexity is seen in their relationships with other races, such as the dwarves and the humans, and in the way their magic is both a source of great beauty and potential danger. In terms of sleep and relaxation, Alfheim offers a serene and calming atmosphere that is ideal for peaceful reflection and rest. The gentle light of the realm, combined with its soothing natural beauty, creates an environment that encourages relaxation and tranquility. The soft sounds of flowing water, the rustling of leaves in the breeze, and the gentle hum of nature's magic all combine to create an atmosphere of comfort and peace. In Alfheim, one can easily lose themselves in the serenity of the land, allowing the stress and turmoil of the mortal world to fade away. The realm is a reminder that peace and beauty can be found in the simplest of moments, and that even in the midst of chaos, there is always a place for calm and reflection. As we leave Alfheim and continue our journey through the Nine Realms, we carry with us the lessons of this radiant land, that beauty, grace, and harmony are essential elements of the universe. Alfheim teaches us that light, both literal and metaphorical, has the power to heal, to guide, and to bring peace. The elves remind us that art, music, and creativity are not just expressions of the self, but ways in which we connect to the world around us and to the divine. Through their wisdom, magic, and dedication to preserving balance, the elves of Alfheim show us that true power lies in harmony, and that by working in partnership with the forces of nature, we can create a world that is as beautiful and harmonious as the realm itself.